god-awful transition defense. You get back to a body, not to just a random spot or whatever. Like right here, everybody's good. Okay, so this is a simple last. Jared Allen's going to be coming into your picture here. Just get back to this body. Just play him one-on-one. Okay? But instead, Jared Allen, I don't know what this is. It's just an awful gamble. And by that point, it's just a layup and one. Just get back to a body in transition. So we got a cross match in transition. You cannot let Domantas Sabonis get. Look, stop it right now. This player here needs to be jamming Sabonis out. Push him out. Push him out. He has to be the one. The Cavaliers defender has to be the one to initiate contact. You got to jam him now. Jam him now. Jam him now. If you let Sabonis be the one to initiate contact, this happens. Look at this. Now look at. Now you're sealed, and now it's just an easy pass over the top for a layup. So this is interesting. First of all right, here's mistake number one, okay? You got to get screened, okay? Let this player let yourself get screened, and the ball screen defensive execution will take care of itself. But look what this player does. See how he's leaning towards the screen? So now they're going to refuse this screen and get right into the lane. Now, mistake number two is, what the heck is going on over here? I mean, right now, call out who you got to be announcing who you're guarding. I got this guy. I got this guy. Why? Look what happens here. Initially, two players are going to this guy. Why? Look at this. Look at that. Two players are going to that guy. So they're gonna like reverse switch this for no reason. No, at this point, it's here. It's here. There is no reverse switching or scram switching or whatever. Because look what happens. Now look. Now this player refuses the screen, and this cutter's wide open. So how many mistakes can you make on one defensive set? Horrible transition defense, so you can't see in your screen. Okay, stop. You're going to see eventually this player's ahead of this Pacers player. So this is the player that goes towards this player. You're behind a Pacers player, you go to that player. Okay? So that's what needs to happen. Stop. Let's see it right here. What is this? You're getting back to a random spot on the floor. Understand you get cross-matched. So right here, this player should be guarding here. This player will back it up, should not be going this way. He should be going this way to where there's other Indiana Pacers going. The player ahead of the ball has got to announce, I got this guy right here. But, instead, this player is just getting back to what? A random spot on the floor when he should be going to this body here. You get cross-matched all the time, okay? But instead, he's getting back to a random spot on the floor, so this player is just going to catch and go right in for a layup. More horrible transition defense. So here comes a turnover right now. Stop right now. Cedi Osman just needs to get back in a straight line. Back, back, back. This player, back, back, back. But look what Cedi Osman does. He starts to slow down for no reason. Why is he not sprinting back? Okay, this player's got the ball. This player's over here. This player's trailing back this way. You have to get over here. Then that's what I mean when right now, just get back. Sprint back. Figure out who you're guarding once the ball crosses half court. But instead, Cedi Osman's going to slow down. So basically here, we have this player, you're allowing this player to get behind you. So now it's just an easy pass there and a two-shot foul for Indiana. Okay, so this is what happens when you miss gap assignments, okay? Look at right here. So the ball's right here. Stop. This player should be right now dropping a half step. Because now what? Now I can just stunt and easily recover. This player's dribble isn't alive, okay? So you missed this gap assignment. Now, again, now Cedi Osman feels like he needs to help. And guess what the death sentence is for Cedi Osman? We talk about it all the time. Look at his footwork, okay? See how his feet, we'll back it up just a second. See how look at how his feet are taking him in. No, he should just be on the block, back to the baseline, right foot on the block, left foot wide stance, and his feet aren't taking him inward. Look what happens. See how his feet take him inward? That means he's going to be late to get back outward, okay? We've already missed a gap assignment, so Cedi Osman shouldn't be having to worry about this. But instead, he does, and you can see it's just going to be a rip-and-go drive and an easy jumper because of it. Okay, so this is in transition again. So here we go. Stop right now. Okay, so this player here just needs to be sprinting back in a straight line. We just need you back. We need you ahead or level to the ball, okay? You don't want to get back to the middle, and you don't want to jog. He's going to, guess what happens? He's going to trail back to the middle, and he's going to jog. Look at this. Look at this. He's going to the middle, and then look at how he starts jogging, okay? If he's right now, he's just sprinting in a straight line. That's the quickest way back. We just need a body in numbers to even things up. If he's just sprinting in a straight line back the whole way, guess what happens? Instead of jogging, he's much closer to here. So right now, Cedi Osman can cut off the ball, okay, and you can get into the gaps. Now, of course, what happens over here is interesting. I mean, this player's got two people here. We got to hope Jared Allen knows to trail to possibly where the ball goes if it goes there. But we just need you back as quick as possible. I know we talk about getting back to random spots on the floor, not bodies, but in this position right here, you just need to get back. Then you can get back to a body, but you initially need to cut off the ball and help Cedi Osman, who's being turned around like a pretzel because he's late to get back, and he's not really able to cut off the ball. You've got to give Cedi Osman the option of cutting off the ball, and by you being back, that gives you the option to muddy up this drive. But you jogged, you got back to the middle, so you're not back at all, and it just leads to a layup. Pathetic transition defense, so let's take a look. You have to communicate. Okay, stop. So Cedi Osman needs to say, I got ball. He's taking ball. You get cross-matched in transition. We got a Pacers player trailing here that Jared Allen's behind. So again, this player, because he's ahead of the ball, needs to be over here, okay? And then this player then can stay over here, okay? You get cross-matched in transition all the time. But guess what happens? Look at this. Two people go to the ball, nobody taking this man. So now instead of this player being able to stay here, he has to step up here. And of course, that leads to a wide open three in the corner. Bad transition defense. We're going to take a look at this player right here. I want to zoom in. Okay, look where he is on the floor. Right now, he just needs to sprint. Back, 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 back. We need an extra body in numbers. We already have a Cavs player ahead of the ball. Okay, right there. But again, what's my quickest way of just getting back to the three-point line? It's sprinting back in a straight line. Sprinting back. Okay? But we're going to zoom in on him. Look at how he's going towards the middle of the floor. See how he's going down the middle of the floor like that? Okay? No. If he's running back, this is literally the difference. If he's running back in a straight line, he's right here. He's right there. There's no place for this player to go. He comes this way, he's meeting a defender. But instead, you went back towards the middle of the floor. Remember when he started? He started over here. But because he went back to the middle of the floor, that delays you getting back. He should be right here. And there's no place for this Pacers defender to go. But instead, you're behind the ball because you went down the middle of the floor. And look, it leads to an easy putback because you allowed that player to get to the rim. And you had to then go contest the shot at the rim. So Cedi Osman has to beat this player in the corner to this spot. Okay, stop. Right now, stop. Look at how you're giving up baseline. No. Shade your body this way. Up, push him to the middle of the court. So right now, look at this. This pass is being made. I'm immediately getting my body underneath. Okay, this player here, well, let's take a look. This player here who's coming out here needs to immediately get into the gaps, and I have to trust, and I have got to force him to the middle of the floor. So right now, again, let's look at this pass. Cedi Osman's got to be beating this player to this spot right here. Push him to the middle of the floor. This player's coming this way, and he's in the gaps. If he comes this way, look at this. See if I force him to the middle of the floor? Like right now, if I beat him to this spot here, there's no place for him to go. This player can move over a little bit, but I can stunt and I can recover. Okay? When I allow baseline like this, I have no gap help. So now this player is just going to get right to the rim, and it's going to be an easy putback for two because somebody had to go contest at the rim because you got beat baseline. Cavs are in a 3-2 zone, and the Pacers are going to screen the middle of the zone. Now, the Cavs have an interesting defensive strategy here of doing absolutely nothing to defend this ball screen, so it results in a layup. So how do you defend a ball screen in a zone? You have three different options. One, you can swap spots in the zone. Okay, this player's guarding nobody. Okay, so you have to identify if you're guarding nobody, you're leaving somebody. Okay, So this player can come over here and guard the top of the zone. This player can slide under here and guard the left wing area of the zone. Then we can stay home here, stay home here, stay home here. The more complicated option is this player steps up then to take the ball. But if this player flares here, what are we going to do? So what has to happen then is if your plan is for this player to take this part of the zone, then this player needs to drop. Jared Allen needs to now come over here, okay? And Cedi Osman needs to come up when this player flares up to the right wing, okay? The other option you have is you can hedge, okay? How do you hedge? Well, here's what happens. Jared Allen sees the screen getting set, and he's coming up all the way over here. Or you can have this player hedge and come all the way over here. Okay, either way, your backside defense is Jared Allen comes up here, and then this, remember, you're cutting this player's dribble off out here, so you're pushing him out to half court. So this player now can kind of occupy these two Pacers players 2 passes away. Okay, the easiest one, though, is to just, who's guarding nobody? Right here. So we're just going to swap spots in the zone. It's like switching. This player is guarding this area of the zone. This player is immediately underneath and has the left wing of the zone and gets underneath the screener. Okay? But the Cavs do nothing to guard this ball screen, so it's a layup. Drop coverage, I hate it. This is the problem with it, is look how easy this passing angle is. Okay? So this Kevin Love's going to try and step up and backside help on this roll. But look at this. This is a direct line passing angle to a wide open catch and shoot 3. So what are the options that you can have here? Well, of course you can hedge, right? I mean, right here, up, push this ball handler out. This player can just slide in a little bit and be in backside help. If a kick out pass is made here, he should easily be able to recover. I can also switch this screen, okay? Right? I can switch. I can get underneath, okay? I can battle for real estate now. But look, I'm up as this player comes off the screen. I'm pushing him to this part of the floor where I should have a gap defender here and a gap defender sliding in a little bit here. So there's no place for him to go. So I'm dictating where the ball handler is going. I'm up. I'm forcing him into gap help here. And then, of course, if necessary, gap help right here. Okay? The worst of the options is drop coverage. And that's exactly what happens, and it leads to a catch and shoot 3. Again, when you're switching this ball screen, you can't sag. So, stop. You cannot sag. Look at this. You're just letting this player get right to the rim, and it's 2. Again, there's no reason to sag because, first of all, you can't sag. You got to be ready to guard right here. This player needs to get underneath the screener. Why? Because now I can get up and I can angle him to the middle of the floor where there's no place to go. Right? This player's battling for position, but here the floor is clogged. I'm pushing him to this part of the floor, okay, and right into gap help. So I'm up, and then I'm dictating where he's going. I'm pushing him here where Kevin Love is underneath the screener right here and is right in the gaps. He's jamming for position, but where's this player going? He's keeping this big out, but he's also staying in the gaps. So what is that forcing this player to do? He's not going anywhere. But you sag when you switch the screen, so, you're just asking to give up 2 points. Okay, you run drop coverage with no backside help. This is going to happen all the time. Easy pocket pass for a dunk. So what can we do? Of course, we can always hedge, right? This player's up, cutting this ball handler, pushing this ball handler out this way. This player here can slide in just a little bit and be in backside help. Okay, or this player's in backside help and this player's occupying both Pacers players 2 passes away, and we can X out depending on the rotation of the ball. The other option is, of course, switching. So right here, I'm up right when this player comes off the dribble. This player needs to immediately get underneath the screener and jam the screener. Jam the screener as he gets underneath so he can stay in the gaps, right? Because if this player's up, this player comes off the screen. Now look, now I'm underneath making sure this player isn't going anywhere. And look, I'm forcing him right into gap help. There's no place to go. We're dictating where he's going, and we're jamming the screener so we can stay in the gaps, okay? But the Cavs don't do any of that. They're in drop coverage with no backside help, and it's a dunk. Drop coverage, but this is bad drop coverage. Okay, look at this guard. He's going to start leaning towards the screen early. You can't do that for a multitude of reasons. we talk about ball screen refusal. The other reason is, look, you're going to lean this way, and the screener is going to reverse the angle of the screen. So look at this. Now, I mean, it's going to take you much longer to get over the top of the screen, and now you just put Jared Allen on an island in the lane, so it leads to an easy 2. But I wouldn't be in drop coverage ever. Okay. First of all, this player's just got to wait. Okay. So right now. All right, what are we doing here? Okay, we can hedge, push this guard out this way, backside defender right here. If a skip pass is made all the way here, easy recovery. The other thing we can do is, again, we can easily switch this. This player needs to, as soon as the screen gets set, bang, I'm underneath. Jared Allen's up. Now, look at this. Jared Allen has multiple places he can put him. Right here, this player needs to jam the screener, jam the screener, jam the screener. So he's in the gaps, right? We want to be right here, okay? So Jared Allen can get up, force this guard this way where there's no place for him to go. Or this player should be dropping, and I can get up and force him this way where there's no place to go. So I can switch or I can hedge. But I'm in drop coverage, which is a disaster always, and it ends up leading to a wide open layup. Drop coverage sucking again, so here comes your drop coverage. Look at this. So now Jared Allen has to go contest that. Look at this. I'm sorry. Jared Allen has to go towards the ball. So with no backside help, there's no one to take this player right here. So, of course, it's just going to lead to an easy, layup and putback because Jared Allen had to contest the little layup right there. So, again, what can we do? We can hedge, keep this ball handler out. Okay, this player can just slide in a little bit. Okay, and be in backside help, or you can have this player slide in, this player can sink down a little bit, and we can X out depending on where the ball goes. Or we can switch. How do we do that? Jared Allen's up here, this player's immediately underneath the screener, and he's jamming the player rolling, jamming the player rolling, jamming the player rolling, because we need you here somewhere. We need you around here somewhere, so that Jared Allen can come here, cut the ball off, and there's no place for him to go. Right? We're sending him right into the gaps, which is where you need to be, which is why you need to get underneath the screener immediately and start battling for real estate early, battling for real estate early, battling for real estate early, not just letting this player roll freely. You're underneath, you're jamming the screener, you're jamming the screener. So Jared Allen can get up, force this ball handler this way, right into gap help right here. But instead, you do the worst of the options, which is, of course, dumb drop coverage, and you give up an easy 2. Dribble handoff. This is so basic. Jared Allen does a great job here. You can see a dribble handoff happening or a fake dribble handoff. It doesn't matter. Jared Allen does a great job of giving this player space to go under the handoff. But you always go under the handoff, okay? You do not go over the top because look what happens when you go over the top. Now you're beat. And look, now this player has to show a little bit, and just that little show means that this player is going to be able to hit a catch-and-shoot 3. Directing the ball handler the wrong way. Why are you angling him this way, away from gap help? Look what happens here. Look at if you just flip your body and angle him this way. Okay, first of all, you should get up. There shouldn't be airspace. Up, force him this way. This player can get his back to the baseline. And look at this. I have gap defenders here and here. Okay, but when I get beat this way, look what happens. Now look, now I have to send help at the rim. There's no one, Jared Allen's got to go to the rim. There's no one to help the helper on Jared Allen's man, and it's just going to be an easy pump fake and drive to the lane for 2. So the Cavs have no idea how to defend a down screen clearly. Look at Jared Allen. Your man is clearly setting a down screen. You need to get attached, and you need to show. So this player has to go out, and this chase can happen. Okay? But when you don't show, look at how this player is just able to curl right off of it. That gives the player chasing no chance, so it leads to a wide open 3. Dumb drop coverage. Let's take a look again. So you're in drop coverage. So look, I've created just a 2-on-1 and put Jared Allen in a very challenging position. So now it's just pocket pass to Domantas Sabonis, dunk. So again, what can we do here? We can certainly hedge. Okay, we can hedge. Get this player out. This player can slide over a little bit in backside help. Pass gets made here. Recovery. Or backside help comes here. This player slides down. We can X out depending on the rotation of the pass. But we're stopping this ball handler's dribble out here. Again, we always can switch too. How can we switch? Well, Jared Allen needs to be up, sending this defender this way, because what do we want? This defender is immediately underneath, and he's jamming the screener, jamming the screener, jamming the screener, battling for real estate early. This player is going to be the one to initiate contact, not the Pacers screener. So we're underneath. Jared Allen can then force him towards this part of the floor where we should have a gap defender right here on this player's roll. Okay? But, instead you're in drop coverage, so you're just handing over 2-on-1s, and those never end well. Dumb drop coverage. Let's take a look again. So you're in drop coverage. So look, I've created just a 2-on-1 and put Jared Allen in a very challenging position. So now it's just pocket pass to Domantas Sabonis, dunk. So again, what can we do here? We can certainly hedge. Okay, we can hedge. Get this player out. This player can slide over a little bit in backside help. Pass gets made here, recovery. Or backside help comes here. This player slides down. We can X out depending on the rotation of the pass. But we're stopping this ball handler's dribble out here. Again, we always can switch too. How can we switch? Well, Jared Allen needs to be up, sending this defender this way, because what do we want? This defender is immediately underneath, and he's jamming the screener, jamming the screener, jamming the screener, battling for real estate early. This player is going to be the one to initiate contact, not the Pacers screener. So we're underneath. Jared Allen can then force him towards this part of the floor where we should have a gap defender right here on this player's roll. Okay? But, instead you're in drop coverage, so you're just handing over 2-on-1s, and those never end well. Again with the stupid drop coverage. Look at this. You're just giving up a 2-on-1. Pocket pass, 2-shot foul. I feel bad for Jared Allen because you continue to put him in a terrible spot. Okay? So what can I do here? This is a pretty easy hedge. This player can come up, push this guard this way. This player just needs to slide over a little bit in backside help. If a pass is made here, easy recovery. And again, we can always switch. How do we switch? Well, Jared Allen is up guarding this defender, and he's getting up and angling him this way because this player is going to immediately get underneath the screener, jam for real estate, jam for real estate, jam for real estate, and as Jared Allen's guiding him this way, now he's also in the gaps defensively, and there's no place for him to go. Okay? But instead, you're in drop coverage, willingly giving up a 2-on-1, and the Pacers are going to the line. Bad transition defense, you've got to communicate. Stop. So this player has the ball. So this player should just be sprinting back, okay? He's going to be guarding this player. There is no reason to go towards the ball. This player is guarding the ball. You need to get back, okay? And you need to get back towards this is your man right here. You get back to bodies, not random spots on the floor. You're just getting back to a random spot on the floor by going towards Domantas Sabonis. You should be over here. Okay? Because now look how long it's going to take you to get out to the corner. So now it's just going to be an easy rip and go drive. Your feet are never, you're not set to guard, and it's a layup. Again, where are you sending this offense? Stop. Why are you letting him go baseline? Get your body this way. So right now, Jared Allen's in the gap. There's no place for him to go. Why would I let him go where there is no gap defender as opposed to twisting my body this way? Jared Allen needs to drop a little bit. He's beyond the three-point line. That's a no-no. But force him this way where there's gap help. Why? Why am I letting him go baseline? This is so not good. And it ends up being a 2-shot foul. Right? You're trying to get over the top of a screen that isn't even set. Okay? Play this man one-on-one straight up. Okay? If you get screened, our ball screen defense will execute, and it'll be okay. But instead, look, this player isn't even going to set a screen. He's going to slip it. So, but still, this player is trying to fight over the top of a screen early that never was set. So now he's just going to get blown by, and it's going to be right to the rim for an and one. Okay, so you're switching, but you're not switching the right way. Okay, here comes the stop. Okay, so right now, this player's got to immediately get underneath the screener, okay? Because he's got to battle for position, battle for real estate. Now, because we want to keep you as far up the line as possible. Okay? So that's how you do that. 2, when you switch, you got to get up and cut this ball handler's dribble off this way, because we should have a gap defender here. We already have a gap defender here, but we need to cut him off so we cannot go to this part of the floor. Okay? You're up. you're cutting his dribble off, and you're sending him right into the teeth of your defense. But instead, you're sagging when you switch, and this just becomes a disaster. Now, look, now you're left one-on-one on an island. It's a mismatch. It's an open three. Talk about battling for real estate early, and the defensive player has to want to initiate contact. Right now, I cannot let this player just chill right and get right to wherever spot on the floor he wants. Right now, I'm battling for real estate. Now. Don't let this player get to wherever he wants to on the floor. Look what happens. Look when you just let this player go wherever he wants to. Now look at, now he's got you sealed, and they're going to throw it down low, and it's going to end up eventually leading to a two-shot foul. This has got to be one of the worst gambles I've ever seen. Stop it right. Let's get back. Stop it right now. There are 3 seconds on the game clock. Why on earth would you gamble? Just stay in front of this player one-on-one. He isn't doing anything but taking a three. So just keep your body in front of him. Let's zoom in. This is the stupidest gamble, one of them I've ever seen. Look at this. Play him one-on-one. Stay in front of him. Why are you gambling with 3 seconds on the game clock? Look at this. Look at this gamble right there. That gamble, look at that. You don't get it. So now look. Now you've allowed this player. Now you're not in front of this player anymore. And now you're giving up an open three that should never have happened. And that's exactly what happens at the end of the clock. Horrible gamble by Kevin Love. This is so stupid. Look at this right here. Stop. Go. Get out of here, okay? If we can dig in the post right here, okay? This double team or trying to get a steal is so stupid. Because if you don't get it, we're giving up points. Look at this. Look at this stupid gamble. So now look at this. Kevin Love is flew into the bench. So now the Pacers have a 5-on-4, and of course now there's somebody wide open, and it's going to be this player right at the top of the key there for three. That is just, don't gamble. Stupid drop coverage. So let's take a look. Right now, okay, we don't need two people. We don't need three people converging on the ball. This player is just fine. But again, the problem is if this player's wide open. So what ends up happening is this player also converges on the ball. So this player's wide open. So again, you give up a wide open three, and it's all because you're in drop coverage. Because look what happens. You're just creating a 2-on-1 that doesn't need to be there. Okay? So how do we want to defend this screen? You know the options. Hedge, okay, up. This player can slide over here. If a skip pass is made here, he should easily be able to recover. The other thing is we can switch. Okay? Up. This player is immediately underneath the screener, battling for real estate right now. Okay? So you're cutting off this player's dribble and bringing him right into your gap help, right? Your gap help is right here because this player is battling for positioning now. So he's somewhere up the line here in gap help. And this player here is also pretty much in gap help as well. Okay, so I'm switching, I'm up, and I'm angling the ball handler this way where there should be gap defenders all over the place. But instead, you're in drop coverage, so now I'm giving up 2-on-1s, and you're letting this big get inside the charge circle, making the defense converge, and it leads to a wide open three. Wow, more idiot drop coverage. So now look, what's this big going to do? You've given up a 2-on-1. So if this big commits to the big, then this is wide open. If he commits to the ball, then this is wide open. Drop coverage is the worst ball screen defense I've ever seen. So what can we do? Again, this is a pretty easy hedge. This player's up here. This player slides over a little bit in backside help. You've pushed this ball handler this way. If a swing pass is made here, you should be able to recover. I can also switch. How do I do that? Okay, this player's up, cutting off this ball handler's dribble, pushing him to the middle of the floor. This player's immediately underneath the screener and jamming the screener. Okay, because we need you up the line at some point. Okay, so right now this player can up, guide this player this way into gap help, which should be right here. It's somewhere around here because I'm jamming the screener, battling for real estate. I'm not letting the screener initiate contact. I'm going to initiate contact. Okay? So that's what we can do. Okay? But drop coverage is so stupid. Giving up 2-on-1s. Oh my God. Okay, this is bad defense. This is off of a make stop. Okay, so look at, we can see Jared Allen not sprinting back. Okay, that's going to be a problem in a second here. See how he's just kind of jogging back? Well, look what happens now here. Okay, so Jared Allen should be beneath the three-point line right now if he had sprinted back, okay, instead of lollygag back. What does that mean? Now Rondo can cut off his dribble, force him this way. There's no place to go because Jared Allen's right here. Okay? But instead, Rondo's not going to cut off the dribble. There really is no gap help. You can't backpedal, but Rondo is going to backpedal. But he should have been easily able to cut the ball off here, force him this way, and here's Jared Allen. But Jared Allen jogged back. Okay, so now that option isn't there, so now Rondo's just going to backpedal, and you give up an easy two at the rim. Okay, so first of all, when you switch, Kevin Love's got to show his hands, okay? The Pacers are in the bonus right here, okay? So when you don't show your hands, you're going to get called for a cheap foul like that. See? Now Indiana's going to the line. So how do you switch this? First of all, this player is going to get drilled with this screen. Okay, right now Kevin Love's got to be communicating, switch, 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 and he's up. Okay? And when this player comes off the dribble, he's cutting off this player's dribble. This player's immediately underneath. Now, this player needs to immediately get underneath because we need to jam this player. Jam him, because we need you somewhere up the line so that when we switch this screen, when he comes off it, Kevin Love showing his hands, angling this player this way, he's going right into gap. There's no place for him to go because we're somewhere up the line because we've been jamming this player. Again, this player is going to be the one to initiate contact, not this player on the switch. So underneath, jam, 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 jam as much as you can. Okay? So now Kevin Love coming off this screen. Okay, see how he's showing his hands right now? That's got to be the case always. So right now, you're still showing your hands. This player's underneath, jamming this player, jamming this player, jamming this player. And where's this player going to go? He's not going anywhere. We have a gap defender right here. Okay? But instead, Kevin Love isn't going to show his hands. This player's going to get drilled by the screen for some reason. And look at that. Now it's a cheap foul. The Pacers are in the bonus, and they're going to the line for two. Okay, so this is drop coverage without the big dropping. You're fighting over the screen. This big sort of drops, but then he leaves. So obviously this player's not able to get over the top one-on-one yet, and it leads to a layup. Now, how do we defend this screen? Okay, this screen is set high enough where you do have the option to jam the screener and just go under, okay? You also, of course, can hedge, okay? Right here, you're up, you're pushing this ball handler out this way, and then right now, look at this. There's no place, he's literally walking right into backside help. That's another, the other option is, of course, switching, okay? But you can't sag when you switch. You're up, and this player's immediately underneath. And what is he doing? He's jamming for real estate now. Battle for real estate now. Battle for real estate now. Battle for real estate now. Because we need you somewhat up the line here because, okay, and we have Jared Allen, it looks like, coming over into the gap too. But we need you somewhere up the line here because Kevin Love is going to come up, okay, cut this ball handler's dribble off and force him into the middle of the defense where I should have a gap defender right there, which is you right here getting underneath the screener and jamming. And Jared Allen's coming over here, so he should be in the gaps too, really, as well. So we're dictating where the ball handler is going. We're sending him to where the gap help is, okay? But instead, you run drop coverage that's just terrible, and it's a layup. Again, idiot drop coverage. Look what happens. You're just giving up the lane, so it's going to eventually be a two-shot foul for Indiana. All right, let's take a look. What can we do? We can hedge, push this ball handler out, backside defender right here. If the pass is made here, easy recovery. Or of course, we can always switch, right? But if you switch, it's got to be now. This player's got to get underneath the screener. This player's got to be over the top and pushing this ball handler this way. This player's jamming the screener here, because we need you as up the line as possible, okay? And then we also have a gap defender right here. If he just slides over, okay, he can easily slide over a hair and with his back to the baseline. So we cut this ball handler's dribble off, and we're sending him into gap help, which should be either right here when this player goes underneath, somewhere up the line from the free throw line extended, or right here. But instead, you do this stupid drop coverage where you just give up the lane, and it's a two-shot foul for the Pacers.